Senator Obama yesterday tried to declare spouses off limits in the presidential smear fest ahead, but he didn't mention spouse-on-spouse verbal violence. That's next, but first time for Countdown's number 2 story, tonight's worst person in the world, the bronze, to Rupert Murdoch, explaining the firing since April of the managing editor, the deputy managing editor, the Washington bureau chief, and now another deputy managing editor of his Wall Street Journal, and insisting this is not because he has replaced them with sycophants who will spew his personal radical politics. Certainly in our newspapers in Britain and the U.S., and not just ours, he says. The line, R, is very clear when it comes to presenting news or views. There's no compromising. R. It is very simple and very straight, Ashton Beatty. True. You print what Murdoch tells you to print or you're fired. I was surprised by how cooperative the vast majority of the journalists have been. R. He continued about the Wall Street Journal. Also true. Also explained by that same fact. You print what Murdoch tells you to print or you're fired. The runners-up, London's tabloid The Sun, which has just settled a libel case by Manchester United soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo. The Sun published a story that instead of spending his team's practice practicing, the player had brought his cell phone onto the field and was sending 4 text messages, causing the team's coach to fine him £8,000. The player testified in court it wasn't true. The coach testified in court it wasn't true. Today, The Sun settled out of court, admitting it had published a falsehood, paying the player an unnamed sum, which he has in turn donated to a charity in Spain. The Sun is published by Rupert Murdoch. The Ronaldo story, perhaps a cautionary tale to one of his other employees. Our winner tonight, Paula Froelich of the gossip section of Page 6, the entirely disreputable portion of his almost entirely disreputable New York Post, the paper that makes its readers every day feel like they need to shower immediately. Preparing at this hour an item about Chris Matthews and me to be run as early as tomorrow, in which, as Miss Froelich describes it, quote, both are vying for Tim Russert's job. Chris, at the reception for Tim's memorial at the Kennedy Center, was overheard by several guests talking to, presumably his agent, about pitching NBC for the job and what he should say in the meeting with NBC execs. Keith apparently has threatened to quit if he doesn't get the job. As we mourned Tim Russert yesterday in Washington, a Pennsylvania acquaintance of Chris's came up to him and said, you should be on the list to succeed him. Chris said he didn't want to be on any such list. He changed the topic immediately. He asked this Pennsylvania man, who was not his agent, no agent would be crass enough to bring up such a topic now or there, for advice on a speech Chris is to give at Gettysburg, PA next week. What he should say. How should he approach it? The speech. As for myself, not only have I never threatened to quit if I don't get Tim Russert's job, not only have I not vied for it, not only has the subject not even come up between me and anybody who will be involved in this sad task, not only did the Post make this up, not only is the very subject of Tim Russert's job not appropriate now, as anyone with a shadow of a heart would understand, but I don't even consider myself qualified for it. Would that Ms. Froelich and her boss Richard Johnson and his boss Mr. Murdoch understand just how unqualified they are for the jobs that the mistakes of fate have given them. Paula Froelich of Page 6 of the New York Post, today's worst person in the world.